All right, so the pressure test went really well. Had a bit of a leak down, checked everything, and it was just the fittings. They had a little bit of a leak to them, so not too worried. Put thread sealants on it when I have the actual fittings going into the bike. So now I cut out a cardboard template for the front gusset. So I like the way it sits. We'll cut that out of 1/8" plate, and we'll pull the frame off, tack weld it, and put it in that jig that we had. Tack weld it in, and slowly weld it in, make sure it doesn't move anywhere. And yeah, so we'll cut out the plates right now, get this frame off and start tacking and welding it in. All right, so the frame's all welded up, got the gusset in there. She's bolted back on, everything's good. The frame moves quite a bit from the rubber mounts. So what we're gonna do is start doing these little tie rods, or little rod ends that hold the frame from going side to side, but still let the rubber mounts move let the motor, stop it from going side to side, still let it move forward and back. So we're going to make the mount off of the rear mount of the frame here to go to that. Make a top mount that goes there, and then later we'll make the front mount. I got 2 holes. The 2 holes that are on the other side, they will come down, and I have to make a mount that comes off of here. That'll stop it from swinging back and forth. But right now we're gonna start on the rear, and we'll cut that, start making that piece, and weld it on. We'll move up here. All right, so we got the mount made up. It's kind of gonna go there, welded, so it'll be a tie rod mount, that'll work good. Had to mill out a little slot in there. Yeah, I mill out a little slot so we can get the bolt in and out. But yeah, so we're gonna weld that on. Right now we're just gonna move up to the top mount. So it's gotta come here, it's gotta go inside here, because the bolt hole is gonna be a little tight in there, so or the bolt head. And then we're gonna go across, make a little piece here, show you how it's all done, and then it'll go to another tie rod mount on the other side of the bike. All right, so we got the top motor rod end, I guess, mount done. Pretty easy. Set it up on the mill, milled out all the flats, cut it out on the bandsaw before that, and then yeah, sanded it down with sandpaper and Scotch-Brite. There's the rest of it. It'll all get welded on. Back end is looking good, back one. So we'll weld these all on after we make the turbo mount. So we got to make 3 rubber mounts for the turbo, make them rubber mounts so they don't, you know, don't move back and forth with the motor rubber mounted and it'll break the exhaust. So I'll show you how we're going to do those. All right, so for the rubber mounts, I have some pieces of 4130 chromoly tubing. Stuff that I used actually on a previous frame, 1-inch OD 83 thousandths weld or something like that. I got them cut to size, and now I ordered 1-inch rubber, solid round rubber. So I'm going to machine that down. It's 40 durometer 40A. It's super soft, like ridiculously malleable. So that'll work good. But to machine it, we're gonna make basically just a big grommet, and to machine it, I got it frozen now, and it's frozen cock stiff. So we will start machining it. Got to move fast to make sure it stays good. We have tetrafluoroethylene. Fluoroethylene, yeah, I guess. Canada in a can. So we are going to keep this thing cold with this. Keep the rubber cold with that while we're machining it. Hopefully it'll stay hard. And then we'll machine those down, fit them in, and then we can start making the tabs and mount on the frame. Right, so I lost a bunch of footage of making the turbo mounts. Didn't really miss much. I believe you saw me cutting down the rubber. We still have that. So durometer 40 rubber rods, machine them down. They go inside of these 1-inch tube. And then I got 1/2-inch tubing here, bent those up. I got a strap up here. So it's all rubber mounted. It moves quite a bit, which is good. The exhaust is gonna hold it on, but if the motor's pushing it, it'll move forward and back, so shouldn't break any exhaust and shouldn't hurt anything on the turbo. So that's all good. And yeah, so now everything's tacked on, all these mounts and stuff. The rod end mounts that help them stop the motor from moving side to side with the rubber mounts, just lets it go forward and back. Those need to be welded on. And yeah, so we'll get those, take the frame off, get everything fully welded, and then this main frame is finally complete. Everything is completely done on it except for a rear shock mount and the front mount. These 2 holes here, there's gonna have a bolt there. I still have to make a front mount. It's gonna mount on here, and it'll be another rod end mount that stops it from moving side to side. So yeah, we'll do the shock mount when we do the swing arm, but right now we'll finish welding this up and then the main frame's done. So we'll do that now. So getting the main frame all welded up and finished. Next episode, we're going to start on the swing arm. So we're going to start on the rear axle plates, get the front bearing cups made, and start working our way back on the swing arm. Hopefully we can have this thing as a roller soon. Thanks for watching.